For today's cup of coffee, was just discussing with Kid. Some things sound good on paper, but in actuality,
Yeah.
It's that whole pesky fantasy versus reality thing yet again, rearing its ugly head.
Yep.
One of which includes, we have the little Keurig thing for the coffees, which works wonderfully well. And so back during the winter, part of the winter, I had found that it's like tea. Ooh, they had some lemon ginger of those K-cups. And I thought, well, yeah. And I got them. And now I have to use them. And that's a no. Because there is an art form to tea, as folks over in the UK understand, and especially in Asian nations, they very much, it's a high art form.
It is. They take their tea seriously.
They do. And so I will not be buying any more of the K-cups for tea.
It's not good. You have to let it steep and actually let it do that for a minute.
You do. And one of the things, I haven't done it, I haven't seen them, I've seen them in videos, and those are the teas that they have the flowers that bloom inside, that they're released, and that is such a gorgeous thing. It may taste like water, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that is part of the art form, and we need to reclaim these art forms. But for herbal teas, what I think like black teas and stuff, and it depends on what you're using and the strength and whether it's medicinal purposes and stuff like that. Usually I'm one of these that I will let, if it's an herbal tea like the lemon ginger or whatever, I'll let it steep 5 to 7 minutes covered, because you have essential oils that you want to keep in there, and if you don't cover it, then those just evaporate.
It's true.
Now, green tea at 2 to 3 minutes. If you let it go more than 3 minutes, it's bitter.
Can you tell that she's more of a tea drinker than I am?
I've done herbal remedies for many, many years.
You have.
But
You're well studied in it.
I am, and I'm planning on growing lots of medicinal things. Because hopefully we're going to have some springish weather in the next few days.
Yep.
But the K-cups for the teas, no.
Yeah, no, they're not good.
Maybe it's just for the people, it's like the 9-ounce coffee mugs. It's for people who like the idea of coffee. Maybe the K-cups are for people who like the idea of tea.
I think those K-cups are for the people who like the idea of tea, but the 9-ounce cups, I disagree. I think it's just a matter of how much they can drink at a time.
Yeah, no. I'm thoroughly enjoying the Welcome to the Shit Show mug, because it's a 22-ounce mug.
You like those mugs that you can stick your whole face in?
I do, because it's a goodness. It's a tactile thing. You've got the warmth on your face.
My favorite mug does a similar thing, but it's not a 22-ounce mug.
But I like warm beverages.
Well, it's still winter, so
it is
appropriate time for it.
It's been kind of, the wind for whatever reason has felt very bitter over the past few days. Worse than when we had snow. I don't know how that works. Something else that I don't know how this is going to work, and this is from Daily Mail by Jonathan Chadwick. That's a cool name, Chadwick. I like that.
Yeah.
February the 19th of 2024. And there is a group called Colossal Biosciences based in Dallas, Texas, because everything bigger in Texas from what I've heard. And that they're using stem cell technology and genome editing to create modern approximation of extinct species.
Yeah.
They're going to start out with a dodo.
I'm ready. I'm waiting. Dodo
And
bird, Alice in Wonderland. Are they going to play croquet with them too?
that's what I wondered. I thought,
Or did they use flamingos?
Kid has really been, with this Alice Madness Returns, has keyed into the universe.
It has. It has.
And this is at a cost of over $225 million, and that's 180 million pounds, to de-extinct the dodo after more than 350 years. And I will tell you this.
How do they plan on doing necromancy with that shit?
Right. That's exactly what it is. They're raising the dead. Reanimator. Mm-hmm. Not only that, the virtue signaling within this article is just beyond measure. That's all I'm going to say on that. And that's the reason I'm just sort of hitting highlights on it. Mm-hmm. And the power of edit is amazing. They're actually not going to stop with the dodo. They're the ones that are wanting to bring back the woolly mammoth and the Tasmanian tiger.
Why?
Because they can.
Do we need those?
I don't
Do
know.
we need those now?
I don't know. There's a lot of things. And I think that in their mind, well, they're playing God is exactly what they're doing. They're playing God.
As they always do.
And they think that they, in their human wisdom, which is usually stupidity, is going to right the wrongs. Mm-hmm. Instead of allowing things to be, learning from mistakes of the past and stuff like that. They're going to cause another clusterfuck.
Yep. Yep, they are.
And it says scientists have already achieved the monumental feat of sequencing the full genome of the extinct species from bone specimens and other fragments. And the next step is to gene edit the skin cell of a close living relative, which in the dodo's case is the Nicobar pigeon, so that its genome matches that of the extinct bird. Now, I've got to go between screens here on this because this is what you're looking at on the screen is their plan. That's what they think the dodo looked like, pretty much. That's the tissue, last remaining actual soft tissue of a dodo.
What if they reanimate it and it turns out looking like something that they did not imagine at all?
And this is the pigeon. And it's a beautiful colored pigeon, but that does not even resemble what the dodo looked like. Mm-hmm. So, again, oh God, the best laid plans of mice and men. And it says the aim is to match the genome, or make the genome match that of the extinct birds, or get as close as possible with the help of the gene editing tool CRISPR-Cas9. Again, this is mad scientist bullshit.
Yep, yeah.
And says that this technique is so that it can cut and paste small sections of DNA, meaning that scientists can delete or edit certain genes so that they can more accurately represent the animal that they are looking to recreate. This genetically altered cell then has to be used to create an embryo in the same way as Dolly the sheep in 1996 and brought to term in a living surrogate mother. Scientists hope that the chick that hatches will resemble something between the Nicobar pigeon and the dodo. Mm-hmm. Then it's not a damn dodo. It's a something else. Maybe it's just a stupid pigeon.
I don't know what it looks like, so
This is stuff that you're not supposed to do.
No.
I mean, honestly, any of this stuff is this fallen angel technology. You are not supposed to mix species.
Yeah, either way,
stuff.
You're not supposed to do this shit, but
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
What, as far as
what it looks like and all that, because over here.
I'll show you. And it says that they're aiming for the first lab-grown dodo to be born within this decade. So that's
how about we just leave it? leave it
a whole
extinct.
lot of fuckery that you can get into with 10 years and several $100 million.
Yeah.
And there is this one individual named Professor Shapiro who admitted that it will not be easy to recreate a living, breathing, actual animal in the form of the 3-foot tall, or 1 meter, bird. That's a large bird.
Yeah.
And it says it was her team that sequenced the bird's entire genome for the first time in March of 2022, having spent years struggling to find well enough preserved DNA. And she stated, quote, "Mammals are simpler. If I have a cell and it's living in a dish in the lab, and I edit it so that it has a bit of Dodo DNA, how do I then transform that cell into a whole living, breathing, actual animal? The way we can do this is to clone it, the same approach that was used to create Dolly the sheep. But we don't know how to do that with birds because of the intrics. They're intricate.
They are.
I'm not even going to try this. Too late in the damn night to pronounce that. Of the reproductive pathways." And then she further added, quote, "So there needs to be another approach for birds, and this is one really fundamental technological hurdle in de-extinction. There are groups working on different approaches for doing that, and I have little doubt that we are going to get there, but this is an additional hurdle for birds that we don't have for mammals." Okay, that concerns me that they think they've got this gene editing bullshit down for mammals, of which they include humans.
Mm-hmm. How about we just leave this shit alone and not try to play God?
Well, that would be the wise thing to do, but since we're in a season of inversion.
You know, it's okay. It's okay to do that in The Sims, because that's basically what The Sims is. You're playing God, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in The Sims. Mm-hmm. Don't do that shit for real.
Mm-hmm. No. And it says other experts have questioned whether the new creation would really be a dodo at all. And Mikkel Sindling, a paleogeneticist, who knew there was such a thing, but there is, at the University of Copenhagen, told Scientific America, quote, "There is nobody around to teach the dodo how to be a dodo. You can genome edit the hell out of something and say you have remade a species, but is it really the species?" End quote. Now that sounds like somebody that's actually thinking a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because to be a being, there's a whole lot to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that does include models. We learn to be humans by being around other humans. Mm-hmm. And we have found out through, even though it was not often, some of these children that were raised by animals, they behaved as animals.
They did.
Even when they were brought to live with humans, because that they were usually older, they would revert back to some of the animalistic behavior, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then we had the study that we had discussed, fairly recently, where the couple had decided to raise a chimp alongside their child,
mm-hmm.
and that the child began to mimic the behavior of the chimp.
Yeah.
And so they had to sort of...
But they were hoping that the chimp would mimic the behavior of the child.
Yes.
And it didn't happen that way.
Because one was a chimp and one was a human.
Mm-hmm. Once again, human child brain is like a sponge.
Sure.
It will take any of that in and try to mimic that behavior. Mm-hmm. That's how it learns. It learns from its parents.
Right. And it's like if it does not have human parents to mimic.
It's like, how did this not even be taken into consideration? How was this not even thought of when that happened?
With some of this stuff, this is where, as far as ethics, 150 years ago when I was in college for the second time, I took an elective that was biomedical ethics because it sounded like fun. Mm-hmm. And it actually was. It teaches you to think. I took Latin for reasons. That didn't work so good. Tea slurp. You should have been over there slurping. Ethics is something that is so sorely missing in our world today. And this is why it's like just a snowball headed downhill for, hell. Just because you can do a thing does not mean that you should do a thing. Mm-hmm. You have to think of long-term consequences.
You do.
There needs to be wise counsel to sit there and go, no, I don't think that's too good of an idea. This could happen. This could happen. There's always unintended consequences that man does not have the ability to foresee, as evidenced by them bringing kudzu to our area.
Yeah, and that's an invasive species, and it has just took the fuck over.
Mm-hmm. And there's other areas that it's worse.
Yeah.
That it truly has covered people's homes and everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's like, get that shit out of here.
Uh-huh.
And you can't easily.
We need more goats. Do goats eat kudzu?
They eat damn near anything. They defy gravity. They defy basic laws of physics. So I think they could eat it.
We need more goats.
Yeah.
But this is why there used to be laws like not carrying animals from one country to another, or even certain plants or insects, and all that shit has gone by the way.
Mm-hmm. It has.
And so to sit there and go, yes, we're going to bring back a dodo or a woolly mammoth. We don't know how the hell that is going to work with the species that we have currently. What if we resurrect some kind of prehistoric disease?
Right.
Of course, I don't guess they give a shit because they're making new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. They've been making new ones. And it's... Y'all are already bioengineering shit. Y'all are fucking with us. Y'all are fucking with our food. You're fucking with our water.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy.
Those of you who are doing that to us, do y'all not understand that God's going to get your ass?
At some point, there will be a price to pay.
Yeah.
And just because...
You ain't going to get away with it. Just because you're getting away with it right now doesn't mean you're going to get away with it forever.
You may get by with it in this world, but you won't the next.
Yeah.
And for these people that want to sit there and go, oh, well, there is no afterlife. Really? Listen to some of these people that had near-death experiences that went to hell.
Mm-hmm. What about the people that have legitimately died and then was brought back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, you've got lots. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. What you do matters.
Mm-hmm.
Personal accountability, responsibility.
Yes.
You have a brain. Some people have a brain. Use it wisely.
Mm-hmm.
To bring healing, not harm.
Yep.
So, there were a lot of things, like I said, in this article that was just highly disturbing, including the virtue signaling. Who are they to think that it is their job to go back and correct whatever they view as wrongs done in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Things happen for a reason.
They do. They do.
Final thoughts, kid.
Stop fucking with shit.
Yeah.
Stop messing with the shit.
Right.
Like, really? Legit. What if it turns out that Dodo is actually a vicious animal?
Yeah, we don't know. It was there on an island all by itself at that point. That's the reason they said in the story that they called it a dodo, because it had no fear, because it had no predators.
That means it is a predator.
We don't know.
If it has no predators of its own,
there was nothing
that means
else.
It is a predator.
More than likely, you're right, because there were no other predators on the island with it. So, you know what, Tim? You've probably hit the nail on the head there.
It's just pattern recognition.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and it's like, I'm sorry, what little I had school, I did actually pay attention to those parts.
You teach yourself about through the internet daily. I've seen you. Mm-hmm. The public schools failed you.
I was homeschooled.
They failed you before as far as the homeschooling. The homeschooling, I was other places.
Public school failed me. Homeschooling, I was just left to my own devices at that point.
Well, at that point. But that was also your responsibility. It's like to want to learn. It's now your responsibility to go back and learn what you did not learn. It's true. If you got chinks in the armor, I'm having to go back and relearn shit that I have, that I'm sitting there going, damn, I missed that. Where was I?
Mm-hmm.
So, final thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to play God. It's never. It's modern day Tower Babel.
Once again, keep that shit in The Sims. I'm sure God doesn't mind The Sims.
Right.
He has an issue when you're actually legitimately trying to play God in real life.
It's not going to work.
He does not turn a blind eye to that.
It's not.
He does not smirk at that. He does not take kindly to that.
Yeah. It's not new. It didn't work thousands of years ago when they tried it there, as far as in the Book of Enoch and some of these other ones. Look up Ken Johnson as far as his Book of Giants and different things where he was talking about fallen angels and the gene tampering.
Mm-hmm.
He has researched a lot of this stuff. He has translated a lot of stuff. Fascinating
It's
fellow, too. He's a little odd, but fascinating fellow to listen to.
They think just because it was thousands of years ago that they were not as advanced as us.
Those who,
if not more.
Those who don't remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
Yeah. And we are repeating it.
Yep. Prayers. If you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and that's there in the description box, as will the link to the article be, barring unforeseen.
Yes, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification button. It likes the affection. Thank you all.
We all like affection.
Yeah.
We all need not happy pokes.
We're all just starved for attention.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Know that you all are very loved. One of these days, I have a dream of our little pirate paddling crew sitting around this. I don't know if it's a vision of Valhalla or whatever version of heaven there is. But all of us being able to sit and actually drink coffee together, or tea, there's those out there, and just sit and share our journeys.
Yes.
Yeah. Someday.
Someday.
So you all are very loved, and Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.